All right, this is take two. We're having some technical difficulties here in our first episode of June 2024. New month, new week, new episode for this podcast episode. Still just going to go with Wild Bill's podcast until I come up with a better title. I thought of some ideas of titles, and many of them have already been taken, which is unfortunate. Must be nice to have hopped on this like 3 or 4 years ago. I probably should have done the same. I still feel the same as I did about this team now than I did then. I don't know what took me so long. It doesn't really matter. But Cubs coming off 2 series against divisional rivals, the Cincinnati Reds most recently, and the Milwaukee Brewers. And it was an embarrassment. It was terrible, awful, no good, very bad. The sky hasn't fallen. The sky has been living in heck for weeks. This team is showing very quickly exactly who they are. That is a bunch of losers. 25 losers, whatever. How many people are on the roster? It's just a bunch of losers. Milwaukee was laughing at us. They were laughing at how terrible we are. Not able to close out games, not able to put up a lead. Not able to give our pitchers run support. Justin Steele went 7 innings without giving a run. Only 3 hits. And the team still find a way to lose. 5-1. If you can't give your ace pitcher, who still doesn't have a win on the season, by the way, can't give him any sort of run support, what can you really do? What are your real prospects at this point? Craig Counsell was supposed to come in and be able to get the most out of the roster, which is what allegedly he's been doing for the Milwaukee Brewers for the past handful of seasons. He's supposed to get, work around the deficiencies of the roster, whatever it may be, no matter what. And if he's still, maybe he is doing that, and the Cubs are just that bad. I don't know, dude. It's dumb. It's stupid, awful. It was nice to see Ben Brown perform in the one game they won in that series. But it's like, you see these teams having, the ability to barrel up the ball, put it in play, things happen. But I'm really annoyed with, people like Dansby Swanson. Roll over weekly to the shortstop or the third baseman, and you're going to run it. The only reason he doesn't ground into double plays is because he can kind of fly down the line. It's faster than average, and he breaks up those double plays. Other than that, he's hitting tailor-made double plays in high-leverage situations. Christopher Morel's not doing very good. He's just striking out every single time. Not a whole lot of clutch moments in him so far. Who else is going to rife off on? Who is it? Somebody else that comes up high leverage and never pulls through. The only person that really seems to put up any hits when it counts is Cody Bellinger. And he's only 1/9 of the hitters. Oh, that's right. Miguel Amaya. Under 200 the average. And no matter who the Cubs put out there to catch, you're almost signaling to the other team that if you have a single, you have a runner in scoring position. Second base is there to take. You're not going to get thrown out. It's such a liability defensively. And I can't see how the players are motivated to play hard when you never are able to play with a lead. You're always playing from behind. These other teams jump out in the first 3 innings and put 3 or 4 runs on us. It's just so annoying, man. The Cubs did win when Justin Steele started that Saturday late game after that 2 or 3 hour delay. That's the only game I really was able to watch since I am working in the weekends. A job that I hate. A job that I greatly dislike. A job that I hope to not have for much longer. Which I've been saying for the last 9 years at this job. That's neither here nor there. For once, Dansby Swanson showed up and hit a 2-run home run in the 8th inning. And that's what ended up being the difference in the game. But earlier in the game, this should have been a blowout. Seiya Suzuki dropped that pop fly. He was the reason that the Reds jumped out to a 4-0 lead. I think they scored 1 run before that, but it's nice that he was able to make up for it with a grand slam, but that shouldn't have happened from the very beginning. It's just all these unforced errors that keep just shooting ourselves in the knee and the foot, whatever you want to call it. right in the chest more than anything. And so I'm upset. I'm upset. There's nothing good going on with this team. The only good part is that we're not facing a team that's over 500 until the end of the month. We got the White Sox for 2 games, which sucks that we only have 2 games against the worst team in the league. Then we're right back in Cincinnati against these same Reds. They caught us with our pants around our ankles. And that's what we got looking forward to. We got a series against Tampa Bay next week too, which hopefully the Cubs can capitalize on. Hopefully we can right the ship, because the All-Star break is a long way away. So we got a lot of games to play before then. Can't be saved by the break right now, you know. So that's those are my thoughts on the Cubs right now. They're tied for second place, 7 games behind the Brewers, which is ridiculous. When I see the Brewers, I don't see like a super, I don't think they're going to compete for the World Series. This division still isn't good. The Cubs have just shown that they're the worst. The fact that they jumped out to that good start to the season is such a blessing. So otherwise, we'd be talked about amongst the absolute worst teams in the league. I think that there was a comparison I saw on Twitter. I'm not sure exactly who it was that tweeted it out. But the last several weeks, the Cubs and the Sox in any sort of major pitching and hitting statistic, ERA, runs allowed, runs scored, batting average, home runs, in the bottom 3 of the entire league. So this is going to be a miserable series. Nobody should be cheering about anything. Should just be upset. That entire stadium should be mad. Think they're playing at Wrigley. I don't want to see a single smile in that stadium. Cubs fans don't deserve any sort of happiness because this team isn't putting up anything worth smiling about. And the White Sox suck. So that's what I got for this week. Other things going on around the league. The famed umpire, Angel Hernandez, of many instances showing that the umpires make everything about themselves, has finally retired. Out of nowhere, in the middle of the season. This man has been responsible for many kind of tarnished, soiled games that have been, not truthfully scored correctly. And that's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I know obviously I didn't play at a very high level, but when you get the bat taken out of your own hands in that bat, you get a pitch that's like 3 or 4 inches outside called a strike on you. That's ridiculous. This man was paid so much money to make the right call. Just do what's right. Simply do what's right. And he couldn't do it. He was the source of so much frustration in the game. And this man was like the biggest proponent of having people pulling for the robo-ump, which I don't think should be a thing in the game. I think there's a lot of character that goes into a game like baseball when you include the subjectivity of an umpire and the changing of strike zones. Within reason, though. Within reason. You got to know that's a part of the game inside of the game. Being able to play around the umpire and knowing their strike zone, what they're bound to call, the pitcher or the hitter, adjusting their approach or kind of knowing where to throw the ball to kind of get those calls in certain situations. It's part of the gamesmanship, so I don't want there to be robo-umps coming anytime soon. There's already been so much technology implemented into the game with the pitching clock, all these changes going on. I think there's a shorter intermission between innings. But this man, Angel Hernandez, was the biggest reason as to why maybe it was a good idea. So I don't care much to see him leave. I think it's probably better for the game. I'm sure somebody else will surface soon, and we'll have somebody else to, kind of point at and blame for these terrible judgment calls. It's nice that replay is implemented a little better. But, I'm not going to miss this guy. So, good riddance to this guy, Angel Hernandez. Go enjoy your family, man. It's time. So, that is the big news that hit for the MLB. So, better umpiring days are ahead. the Chicago Bears have been selected for HBO's Hard Knocks series. So I'm excited to see the facilities of the Bears being used and portrayed in a more professional video style. Not throwing any sort of shade towards the Bears' social media, of course, because I do love the 920 productions. I think it's 920. 1920, excuse me. Where they put out videos of the internal kind of movements of the Bears. I saw the video of them on draft day and how the room was reacting, knowing that they were getting Caleb Williams at number 1, seeing the face of Ryan Poles when the Atlanta Falcons got Michael Penix Jr. with number 8, knowing that Roma Dunze was sitting there waiting for us to take. So, seeing the HBO series coming into Chicago, I know there's going to be a lot of references to the food. Going to see the bean. We've already seen the bean turn into a football. So, I'm trying to think of what other kind of deep cuts in Chicago we're going to see. They'll probably show some jazz clubs, blues, that kind of stuff. Show all the yuppies up in Lincoln Park and Lakeview. Saw Caleb Williams at Old Crow over the weekend. He went to that Saturday Cubs game. Probably didn't stay through the rain delay, but got a video of him kind of feeding into the Green Bay sucks chants, which he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Green Bay does suck. Never been, but I know what it's like. I've driven through these Wisconsin towns. There's not much to see. When your tourism depends completely on cheese, it sucks. But yeah, I'm excited to see Ryan Poles being more involved in this production. Excited to see how Eberflus kind of like mingles and intertwines himself into the team and seeing how his mentality gets implemented in there. Excited to see how the veterans are treating Caleb Williams and how they're hopefully not giving him any sort of gimmies. They're making things tough on him to show how the league's going to be. There's been reports of him kind of lighting it up through OTAs. So that's exciting to see as well. Roma Dunze, I think he had a hamstring going into the OTAs. He was still looking pretty good. Making some catches down the sidelines. Caleb Williams, some elite ball placement that I'm seeing. Some good footwork. Throwing on the run is what I've been seeing. So all good things, seemingly. There's some photo shoots of the Chicago Bears, too, where Montez Sweat and Jalen Johnson recreated the LeBron Dwayne Wade picture of the Heat, the famous one of where Dwayne Wade hit the lob on LeBron James, and he kind of had his arms outstretched as LeBron James was dunking behind him. So that's good. Those are good vibes. I'm hoping that translates somehow. I don't know, like a forced fumble, return touchdown kind of thing. That'd be nice. So yeah, looking forward to that. I think it's August 6th or something like that. We're gonna get the first episode, so we got a little bit of time to speculate and see what kind of ideas we come up with for everything. The other big thing in sports going on right now is Caitlin Clark getting the absolute crap kicked out of her by everybody in the league. Angel Reese came out and said that this league isn't popular just because of one person. It's popular because of Me Too. I think she could have phrased that a little better. I think it'd be better if if you really want to go away from putting the popularity on Caitlin Clark, maybe talk about, how the teams are well developed. We got a good brand of basketball. Growing the game and not making it so much by yourself. Because to be honest, I wasn't paying very much attention until Caitlin Clark came on the scene and started breaking all those records, crossed over Pete Maravich or Pistol Pete, whatever you want to call him. Outscored him in college. That record has obviously lasted for a really long time. There's obviously that big hype coming out of Iowa. Great sports fans coming out that Iowa has. They were able to propel her into the mainstream kind of audience. Obviously, there's been star power in the WNBA. We remember Breanna Stewart, Brittany Griner, famously, with her debacle over in Russia. Kelsey Plum's been big. Candace Parker has been big for a while as well. So there's been other people, and I think that Angel Reese should realize, like, even all of those stars weren't able to get those charter flights. It's ultimately going to be great for everybody involved. It doesn't mean that they have to, clear the runway, let her have, her drives to the hoop. Obviously, she's going to get her butt kicked. It kind of reminds me of the Jordan rules with the Pistons. Um, don't let him get a clean look. Don't let Caitlin Clark get a clean look. Make her think twice about, driving or doing whatever, setting a pick. I think that's all in fair game. Maybe there was that one really tough foul that rightfully should get fined, where I can't remember the girl's name on the Chicago Sky. Kind of just almost tackle her to the ground. No place for that, but hard play and making her work for it is definitely well within the bounds of the game. So I don't think that's a terrible thing. And I'm sure that Caitlin Clark can expect more of that until she is able to fully establish herself as being the star in the league. Right now, she's the main attraction for sure, but we got to start seeing some wins out of her in the Indiana Fever. So those are my 2 cents on the subject. So that's all I got this week. I know there was a UFC fight. I don't really care. I know Dustin Poirier was one of the fighters, and I forget the other dude's name. But the other dude won. Dustin Poirier. They say he's probably on his way out. One of the few guys that I knew the name of. So, I guess I'll have to learn a little more UFC. So, that's what I got. Cubs suck again. Suck until proven otherwise. So, hopefully they're able to appease me and my fandom, because that's what it's really all about. I just want to be happy about my baseball team. Me. Give me everything. Don't give anybody else, please. So that's what I got for the Cubs and for sports in general. Oh, I guess I should probably mention the NBA Finals and the NHL Finals. We got the Mavs and the Celtics. I think the Celtics got this in about 6 games. I think it'll be good and hard-fought series. All right, there's something that's popping up on the camera. I think the Celtics are just a better team currently. They're going to hit all the big shots. I don't know, though. It'll be a good series. I do think it'll be Celtics in 6. So they're getting Kristaps Porzingis back. That might be a bigger factor than what we realize also. And then we got the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. I just hope the fans are happy. I hope they do whatever it is that they do. And that's all I got. Just happy to see some playoff hockey. Doesn't matter what goes on in the stands. Doesn't matter who does what. Playoff hockey is simply the best. Best playoffs in all of sports, I think. Unless the Cubs are in the postseason, which they won't be for a while. So, thanks for watching, friends. And until next time, it is over.